Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook coexist well enough to win a championship?
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with that. That's a team that can win the championship.
The Lakers are the clear-cut best team in basketball.
Because Russ will win you regular season games. Russ, as you mentioned, will win you segments of games when LeBron plays and win you games when he doesn't.
Well, as long as LeBron is on the Lakers, I'm going to say that they are contenders.
All of these players, and you're telling me that they're not going to have a 60-win season? Please. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they wouldn't scratch the surface of hitting a 70-win season.
Oh, Perk, now you're getting crazy. Come on.
But in the West, it's the Lakers and everybody else. The Lakers are the best team in the West. Chris, the reality is with Russell Westbrook, they're going to wreck the league in the regular season. They're going to be dominant.
Lakers win the title, America. Not sure exactly who's on the roster. Not sure exactly.
Keep talking about my squad, our personal ages, the way he plays, he stays injured. We're past our times in the league, etc., etc., etc. Do me one favor, please. And I mean please. Keep that same narrative energy when it begins. That's all I ask.
All right, old school NBA fans, self-research, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. Want to give a special thanks to Adidas 20. Thanks again, my man, for all your support. I really appreciate you. Thanks. In this video, the 2022 Lakers, something that just isn't talked about enough. You heard in the beginning, these dudes talking about 60 wins, maybe 70 wins, definitely the champions, all this stuff. Because of the names, all these Hall of Famers, the narratives that these guys have been portraying for years, the amount of Hall of Famers is where it's at. That's what it's all about. It blew up in their face on this one. An embarrassing 33-49 record. I got to tell you, I laughed a little when all that happened. I didn't think they were going to win the championship, but I thought for sure they were going to make the playoffs. But you know what they're going to blame it on. There's going to be excuses. LeBron is immune to any of it. They're going to look at his points per game and say, oh, LeBron had a career year, averaged over 30 points a game. It wasn't his fault. All right, we're going to take a look at all that. I couldn't help but notice the correlation between the 2022 Lakers and the 1998 Chicago Bulls. A lot of similarities there, but one had a great result and the other an awful one. When you compare these two teams, the star of the show, LeBron James, the 98 Bulls, Michael Jordan. I purposely color-coded these guys because this is the comparisons I'm making between the two teams. One team was predicted to win the championship, and the other one was predicted to finish, I believe, second is what it was. So like I said, LeBron James averaging 30.3 points a game, 36 to 37 years old. Okay, definitely past his prime and all that. Sure, I acknowledge it. But still, you're averaging over 30 points a game. At that point, age is irrelevant. Just like this all-NBA business this year. LeBron made it at 40. Then you said he was a top 10 player in the NBA, voted him 6th for MVP. That means he's one of the very best players in the NBA, right? So when he gets his doors blown off with a top 5 teammate in the NBA, that is a shortcoming, black mark, and embarrassment. But this season here, I think, is maybe the biggest one of all. It does not get talked about enough. LeBron with a 30.3 points per game, 36 to 37, sure. Russell Westbrook, the guy who came in that everybody just went nuts over, 18.5 points per game. He was 33 years old. So this guy was not ancient. The year before, in 2021, Russell Westbrook had the most assists per game of the 21st century. You want to talk about past their prime and all that? I'm not buying it. Sorry. Not going to happen on this one. The guy in the Bulls that I compare him to, Tony Kukoc. He's the Hall of Famer, right? Gets brought up every chance that Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp, and these guys can. They bring up the fact that Tony Kukoc made the Hall of Fame because of his European stuff, a 0-time All-Star, but whatever. Kukoc was 29 years old, giving you 13.3 points a game. Westbrook, 18.5 points per game. Carmelo Anthony, he's 37. I agree. He's giving you 13.3 points per game. Ron Harper is 33, 34 years old. Not quite as old as Anthony, but he's only giving you 9.3 points per game. He played all 82 games. Anthony did play 69 games. How about Malik Monk? He's giving you 13.8. That's actually more than Kukoc is. And I realize that the Bulls averaged much less points in 98 than the Lakers did in 2022. But even still, a plethora of people that can score the basketball. 13.8 from Monk, 11.4 from Luke Longley. Monk's only 23, 24 years old. Longley is 28, 29. He's in his prime, so is Kukoc. But that's it. Of all the players, the top 7 on the Bulls, that's it. None of these other guys are in their primes. Another player, Talen Horton-Tucker. I'm not familiar with him, but he was giving you 10 points a game off the bench, only 21 years old. He played 60 games. And that's the other thing we all have to understand is with load managing in the modern NBA, it's going to be a little bit different. Austin Reeves, giving you 7.3, age 23, played 61 games. Steve Kerr is giving you 7.5. He played 50 games. He's only 32 years old. Luke Longley played 58 games, so he missed a third of the season. Steve Kerr missed 3/8 of the season. And then you got Dwight Howard, the exact same age as Rodman. 36, turned 37 during the season, just like Rodman. Dwight Howard's giving you 6.2 points a game, Rodman 4.7. Now I realize defense, rebounding, all these other things, sure. But this is just to show Dwight Howard is the exact same age as Dennis Rodman. They both play down low, they're both defenders, and all that kind of thing. He's a Hall of Famer. Rodman's a Hall of Famer. So you got the exact same age Hall of Famer on your team, Dwight Howard, to match Dennis Rodman. Period. And then at the bottom, you got Anthony Davis. He missed 42 games. Absolutely. Anthony Davis was 28, 29 years old. In his prime. He has given you 23.2 points per game. Scottie Pippen, giving you 19.1 points per game, was 32 years old and definitely outside his prime. He missed 38 games, only 4 less than Davis. When you take a look at each roster, tell me what I'm missing. Anthony Davis, a top 75 player, missed 42 games. Scottie Pippen, a top 75 player, missed 38 games. Right? Dwight Howard, a Hall of Famer, 36, 37 years old. Dennis Rodman, Hall of Famer, 36, 37 years old. Russell Westbrook, top 75 player. The Bulls have Tony Kukoc. He's a Hall of Famer. Okay. Carmelo Anthony, another Hall of Famer. The Bulls have Ron Harper, Luke Longley. Is Ron Harper at 33, 34 better than Carmelo Anthony at 37? I would say it's a wash probably. You got Malik Monk giving you 13.8 points per game. That's better than everybody on the Bulls except for Jordan and Pippen. He'd be the third leading scorer with that number. He's in his prime. Played 76 games. The Bulls have Luke Longley, 11.4. He's 20, 29. Yeah, he's in his prime, sure. But they got Austin Reeves to match Steve Kerr, production-wise. Played even 11 more games. You even got another guy named Horton-Tucker. And the Lakers also had guys like Rajon Rondo on the bench, too. The Bulls bench, after that 7th guy, fairly thin. You got Randy Brown. You got like Jason Caffey, Judd Bushler. It gets pretty thin, pretty quick. I'm saying if you think LeBron James is on Michael Jordan's level, then this roster probably favors the Lakers. And I don't want to hear about AD's injury because the Bulls had Scottie Pippen missing half the season also. The 1997-98 Bulls, they had a 26-12 record without Scottie Pippen. They were definitely better with him, though. They were 36-8 with Pippen. And this is the thing people need to understand when they talk about, oh, had to have Pippen, blah, blah, blah. They did this 26-12 record without Pippen. They did not have a replacement for Pippen. It'd be one thing if they traded him and they got somebody back That's not what happened here. They just straight up lost Pippen. It's the 97 Bulls minus Scottie Pippen. That's a huge distinction. The player that I always use, let's say instead of Scottie Pippen, the Bulls had Hot Rod Williams or Derek Coleman or, God forbid, somebody like Reggie Lewis. Let's just say they had somebody like that. They're 26-12 without Pippen. I think that's on pace to win about 57 or 58 games. Imagine if they replaced him with somebody just on that level. Forget about a Hall of Famer. Just a solid, good player. I think that they're in the finals again, maybe winning the championship. Maybe. I don't know. The 2022 Lakers were 16-26 without Anthony Davis. They were 17-23 with him. So they were a little bit better without him, but not a lot. Just slightly worse without Davis. The preseason favorites for each team in 1998, the Bulls were definitely the odds-on favorite to win the championship, to get the three-peat. I thought that was nuts based on their age and all the drama surrounding the beginning of the season, the last dance and all that stuff. They were plus 140. They were first, predicted to win it. The 2022 Lakers were plus 400. They were second to win the championship. Second. Everybody thought the Lakers were going to do all these great things. The predicted win totals of the 1998 Bulls was 57.5 wins. Now, I don't know if they factored in Pippen missing half the year or not. I don't know if they knew that going in. Maybe they figured he would get the surgery and then he'd be ready for the start of the season. I don't know. But either way, they were predicted to win 57.5. That's the betting line. The Bulls won 62, so that was 4.5 more wins than they were predicted to win. The 2022 Lakers were predicted to win 52.5 games. They won 33, so they were 19.5 games under what they were predicted. That's ridiculous. That's terrible. Now, this is very telling as well. To all the people out there that think that, oh, the Bulls couldn't do anything until Pippen got there. Oh, my God, the Bulls without Pippen. Oh, they're lost. What would they do? Well, besides the fact they were 26-12 without Pippen, which is strong, and like I said, without a replacement, in the 38 games without Scottie Pippen, the Bulls allowed under 85 points in 15 of the 38 games. That's pretty good. And they allowed under 80 points in 7 of the 38 games. That's pretty good. However, when Scottie Pippen came back, in 44 games, the Bulls allowed under 85 points only 10 games, and under 80 points, 6 games. So in both cases, they actually were allowing less points without Pippen. Now, I'm not saying that they were better off without Pippen, but I think that's pretty good proof that the Bulls were doing just fine. If they would have had a viable small forward type player to come in and get them 15 to 18 points, oh yeah, I feel like the Bulls were in line to win a championship. The culture was already there. They had a good team chemistry with Jordan at the helm. I absolutely think the Bulls could have won that season, no doubt. I don't know if they would have. I think they could have. All things considered, I feel like the 98 Bulls above expectations, regardless of what Vegas said. With Pippen losing half the season, you would have thought that the Bulls no way would have been the number 1 seed, but they somehow maintained it, tied Utah for the best record in the NBA. And when they got Pippen back, that's the second half of the year. And anybody who knows about the NBA schedule, that means you are going to be playing the East a lot more. The East overall, from top to bottom, was better than the West, but at the very top, the West was better. The West was top heavy. It was almost a split between good and bad, where the East was more degrees of good and bad. There wasn't a lot of really bad teams, but there was only about three teams, 55 wins or more. Something like, I think Charlotte was the 4 seed, won like 51 games, something like that. I think that is some pretty strong evidence that LeBron James has a humongous disappointment hanging around his neck that nobody wants to talk about. And the 98 Bulls roster, you look at the ages, the games missed, and you compare it to the Lakers, I don't see how you think the Bulls had the better roster. I just don't. I don't see it. Just because those guys performed better doesn't mean that the Lakers were not supposed to win a lot more than 33 games. And yeah, I know, LeBron missed 26 games. Well, guess what? He was fine when he was trying to win that scoring title. But then when they realized they weren't going to make the playoffs, he then shut it down. And FYI, Anthony Davis came back before the end of the season. So if they would have made the playoffs, he would have played. Just a tidbit in there. So it's not like, Davis wouldn't have been there, blah, blah, blah. No, he would have been there. I'm going to leave you with this game right here. This is Spurs at the Bulls. That's Tim Duncan, David Robinson against the Bulls. And that's without Scottie Pippen. This was a really good game to watch. If you haven't watched it, if you can get any part of it, it's great. Here's a nice clip from that game. It was awesome. Went into double overtime. Pay attention to who hits the shot to force it into overtime.
Shooting very well. Top field goal percentage team in the league.
And right off the bat, you see the matchup, Luke Longley on David Robinson.
Then the Boston Celtics, but offensively they like to run, and they're pretty good when they get it up and down quickly. Tim Duncan, so the two big guys right away.
He went from 20 feet out.
And now Robinson is at the other end of the floor as MJ hits that. Robinson, 15.
See, this is what they can do.
Sean Elliott in the lane. Comes over the back. Duncan couldn't get it. Goes out again and puts that one in.
Hard scored a little bit for him last year.
Michael got him in the air and puts it in. Lead. Duncan with the jumper from the wing puts it in. Robinson with a turnaround soft jumper.
And maybe draw some fouls in the process.
Yeah, that was a great pass to MJ inside. MJ steps out. Now takes the long range deuce and hits from the right side. Robinson spins, fakes, puts it up and in. The turnovers, 3-pointers.
They were a little slow getting that ball to Michael that time.
And Michael's right now making cuts off.
MJ, rocker step. Oh! It's a 2-point game and it can be tied right there. Hey. Tim Duncan with the jump hook puts it in. Michael goes baseline in traffic. Oh man, almost lost it inside. Tim Duncan got a jump ball. Play tell you there's 2 minutes left. Duncan turns with the left hand in. Kukoc for three. Sharp. 2 seconds. 1 second. This is to tie. Oh, yes sir. For a second, shot clock at 4. At 3. He can do it again. Hey, yeah. On that side, Duncan gets it down low and slams it.
That's twice.
He gets over on Elliott, blocks the shot.
And the Bulls weren't ready for it.
MJ one-on-one with Elliott, fades, fires, hits it! Very quiet since the half. Great moves. Michael one-on-one with Sean Elliott. Fakes the shot, fakes it again, baseline jump. Oh, yeah!
11 for 38 up to now. There he goes, a double fake. He makes the basket. 12 for 39, but it's not moments.
Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing the video, that would be excellent. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I give daily content. And that's it. Until next time.